I'm going to continue the conversation I started earlier today on the reasons why I don't advise young ladies in their 20s in Nigeria, Nigerian born ladies, to be married in their 20s. I know that this topic, a lot of people don't agree with it, but I will continue to say these things because, like I said, over the years, I have really studied the lives of women who married in their 20s, Nigerian women that married in their 20s, and those who married later on. And I have seen that people that marry in those years, they end up in trauma in their future years in those marriages. So the second reason why I don't advise Nigerian ladies in their 20s to get married is because of the school system. Okay, so the way our school system is designed, you can't really guarantee when you're graduating from school. So you can start your university degree 17, 18. By the time you're through, you're 24, 25, or maybe 26, depending on how you sorted your JAMB issues out, because those are determinants, to when you even get into school. So let's say you're graduating at 24, between 24 to 26. Then the next issue you're going to face is the issue of job. A lot of people struggle with getting into the job market from 26 and above. A lot of people are challenged, when they have exceeded the age 26. So they begin to struggle and they end up going for lower paying jobs. So now they go for lower paying jobs. They start those jobs. Then maybe one man just comes from somewhere. They feel that they have a job, but those jobs that they have cannot even afford to pay their house rent on their own. If they were living on their own, they're not able to afford to pay their house rent. They're not able to afford their own personal comfort without that man. And I keep saying it, that beyond even having the resources, you as a woman, you need to really, really be financially empowered. Because if you go into the marriage relationship where you are dependent most of the time to a man, most of our Nigerian men, they tend to take advantage of that. And when you have a problem with them, the first thing they do is to cut off the finance supply, and you begin to struggle. And if you have children in that relationship, your troubles will be tripled. So ladies in their 20s, within your 20s, you don't have a good job. There are very few ladies in Nigeria that get the good jobs in their 20s. So you get that good job, or you don't get the good job that can't pay your bills, then one angel comes from somewhere. He says he's going to marry you. Yeah, not every man falls into this category, but trust me, majority of them fall into this category. Okay, because an average African man wants a woman that will serve him, do this for him, do that for him. So if you haven't developed capacity, to withstand certain pressures, when you get into those relationships, you go there and you start struggling. I can even share an experience with you. So when I got married, for a start, I didn't get married in my 20s because everything I'm telling you now is what I've always believed. Okay? So I didn't get married in my 20s. When I eventually got married, the first battle that I needed to overcome was the battle that wanted to stop me from working. So I had a good job. I was already living on my own. I had my work. I was paying my bills. I could travel anywhere I wanted to. I was doing well as a single person, with or without a man. I didn't need any man to support me or do anything for me. Every single thing I wanted to do, I could do it for myself. I know some people are going to come under my timeline and start telling me cock and bull stories of it may not be everyone's scenario. That is totally your choice. I'm saying these things because I was raised in that same country and I went through all these challenges that you're talking about. So life is a choice, okay? So yeah, so I could do everything for myself. So I didn't need a man to do anything for me at the time I got married. So when I got married, because I got married in that setting, in that environment where people are not comfortable with women who are empowered financially. So the first attack that I was getting was to stop me from that job to a lower earning job. And I wasn't going to fall mugu for that because I already knew, that the first thing that people want to attack is a woman's finances. Now, this challenge, of course, was not coming from my husband, but he was, he had people that, were close to him that weren't quite comfortable with a woman that was comfortable, that had her finances. So, they were throwing all that suggestion, career woman, all those kind of suggestions. Career woman, they don't have time for children, you have to look for this type of job. So they started suggesting certain jobs to me. And these are people that you're not there when I started applying for jobs. So you're not my parent. Even if you're my parent, at this time, I believe that when people are already 21, they're already adults. So even as a parent, you don't have a right to tell your child the type of job you want them to do, because you should have taught them everything they needed to know before they turned 21. So, and I was way above 21 at this time. Then some people started suggesting to me certain jobs they felt that a married woman should be doing. And those were low earning jobs. And I knew that those kind of jobs are not going to meet my needs. You don't pay my bills. So how can you suggest to me the job I should do? And of course, because I was not in my 20s, I was able to withstand those pressures. I wasn't going to succumb to them. So that is it. So ladies in their 20s, you don't have that financial capacity. You haven't developed certain things inside of you to be able to withstand certain pressures. So what happens when they get married is that these kind of pressures come their way and they succumb to them. They easily succumb to them. Let's even say that their husbands are like that, Their husbands are part of the people saying all those things. They are not going to be able to withstand those pressures. And when those pressures come, they succumb to it. And before you know it, they step down. They start doing everything everybody's telling them. And in the end, they're still the ones that will suffer for it. That's what people that don't understand. Women don't understand that the world system is designed to make you fail. So if you understand that, you have to constantly be on the lookout for yourself at all times. When people are making suggestions to you, listen attentively to understand what they're saying, because they might just want you to fall into one ditch where in the end they'll still be the ones that will laugh at you. So of course I didn't succumb to it, and I stood my ground and nothing happened, because a lot of women cannot take decisions for themselves. They're always afraid of what will happen. I didn't really care, even if my husband was going to join or, join everyone to start saying those things. Honestly, I was ready to lose him than quit my job. Yeah, that was how determined I was. I was ready to check him out of my life because you're not the one that gave me the job. But anyways, like I said, he, is too enlightened to engage in that kind of conversation. So he doesn't even want that kind of woman who would now be depending on him 100%. He doesn't want that kind of woman. So that was not what he wanted. So he wasn't part of that conversation. But like I said, even if he was part of that conversation, I was ready to, have him move away than me doing what they wanted. So yeah, that is what I'm trying to say. I still think that a Nigerian girl in her 20s should be focusing on building her life, building her value, her core values, understanding what she wants for herself and what she does not want for herself, establishing certain boundaries, understand the kind of people that she wants in her life. A lot of ladies don't take time to answer these questions, so they just rush into making these decisions. Eventually, in the later years, they start asking other questions and their lives have become complicated at that time. So, yeah. So this is another reason why I am saying that we should not encourage our daughters in their 20s to be married, because the system is designed for our ladies to fail. And a lot of people that have done this, it didn't really work for them. Yeah. So I don't know what your comments are to this video I've made. This is the part 2. I'm still coming back with the other parts for this video. Thank you and have a good evening.